Welcome to part 2 of my build of the quarter-scale Taylorcraft Auster 5A based on the Jerry Bates Auster J1 Autocrat plans. This video is a slideshow with a voiceover of some pictures I took while building it. Day 8. I assembled the second side on top of the other one. I just draped the plastic sheet over the first one and then glued the second one together on top. That way they should come out the same. While the glue hardened, I put plywood ribs inside the two door skins, making sure I made one right and one left-hand side. Day 9. I used many squares, clamps and some tape to hold the sides in alignment while I glued them together on top of the plans. I think it went quite well. I decided to move the servos a little back in the fuselage from where the plans show them. I really do not want them under the front seats. I created access to the servos by putting spruce connectors in the bottom of the fuse instead of balsa and then making a hatch. Then I cut some 6mm balsa to shape and fitted it between the carbon fiber tubes. The balsa has holes for some spruce that will hold the servo tray, which I will cut down to fit the new place. The rib marked CRF will have to be cut down as it moves a little bit aft in the fuse. Here I have marked what I will have to cut off. Day 10. In order to carry on with the fuselage, I had to make two parts that Slick seems to have forgotten to laser cut. Fortunately, I had some 6mm birch ply that I could use to make the parts. Now I could start assembling the cockpit. At the top you have the wing seat, and this is sitting on top of two 6mm spruce sticks. These will eventually be glued to the engine compartment in front and the rear fuselage in the back. I used epoxy glue to stick these together and then put some weight on them to keep them level. Day 11. It took most of the morning to arrange and then glue the cabin of the model together. This was not really difficult, but the sides need to be perpendicular to the cabin floor, hence the use of the squares. Day 12. The engine mount is now glued to the cabin. This does not really look that sturdy, but fear not, more is coming. Note that the firewall is perpendicular to the cabin floor as dictated by the plans. Struts inside the front windshield are next. They're made up of 5mm arrow shafts made of carbon fiber and glued with epoxy glue. They're actually functional in this model. And lastly, the 6mm balsa sides are fitted to the engine mount in front and to the cockpit cabin in back. The instrument panel former is also fitted, as next time I will glue down a 3mm balsa cladding on the front. Day 13. A very pleasant morning planking the nose section of the engine mount. I intended to just bend the balsa over the top of the nose, but it was too thick, 3mm, too hard and too brittle to submit to such treatment. So then I stripped it down to 10mm strips and planked old school using wood glue and pins. I'm looking forward to sanding this tomorrow. Day 14. I started the morning by sanding smooth the nose part of the cabin. Then I positioned the front and the back of the fuselage together, measuring everything as accurately as I could, and then gluing it together using epoxy glue with microballoons. Then I made sure not to touch the fuselage while the glue hardened.